writing, which is nice, but yeah. The channel is homeless. So what I mean by that is I am doing this live stream in my bedroom and not in my studio because my studio I have left and I have a new one an hour into Long Island that still needs floors to be finished, molding to be put in, paint, doors, plumbing, all that sort of stuff. And it was taking a little bit longer than expected. So I expected to just sort of set up there and be up and running as soon as possible. But instead, I just put all my stuff there and I have to wait until probably the end of the week for everything to truly be running. So right now we're in a bit of limbo, and that's why I'm doing this live stream because I did not have a video lined up for you. Although Boone might take issue with that, who is helping editing. Excuse me.
Oh my god.
Dana's gonna get her license soon, which is only 12 years late.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, that's
I don't build model cars, but when I was a child, I used to collect die-cast cars and like take them out of their die-cast shells and play with them on a carpet pretending they were race cars. And then one day I was like, one of the coolest parts of Dukes of Hazzard is when the cars crash. So I went up to it was a stilt house on the water. So like all the houses, even if it was a 1-floor house, it was on the second floor on stilts because it would get flooded otherwise. So I'd go up to the third floor on the balcony. I don't know how old I was, probably 6 or 7. Be like, and throw my diecast cars 3 stories off the balcony until they hit the sidewalk below. And then I go look at them. They're all crumpled up like they've just had a 100-mile-per-hour front-end collision. I'd be like, whoa, that's super cool. And that was, oh, you anticipate, and you threw them. Yeah, that was my childhood with diecast cars, was just destroying them because I don't know. Maybe it was an omen for the way I do cars. The foreshadowing for sure. Have you ever thought about making a slammed shopping cart with your channel logo for a new office decoration? When you say slammed shop, do you mean like a stanced out shopping cart or like I give me another line on that one if you could. Also, what would you do to a second gen Honda Fit if you even know what that is? Is that the regular Car Reviews Silicone Sally Honda Fit, or is it an older one, or is it a newer one? I don't have my phone. I plugged it in downstairs. I plugged it in. There are stairs involved. A stanced shopping cart. Could you define stanced shopping cart? Like where do you lower it? Do you lower it on the wheels or do you lower it in the basket? Do you put a spoiler on it? Does it have ground effects? I have to go clean my room, so bye. I shall make the Discord server. Oh, thank you. Everyone say bye to Pokey Doki, which is a fantastic name, I must say. A stanced shopping cart.
I don't understand.
I am struck. I know exactly what both of those words mean. I do know what stanced means, and I do know what shopping cart means. I don't know what stanced shopping cart means. Yeah. That'll haunt me I would like to see that Frankenstein shopping cart. Put in a go-kart chassis. So you want me to perish, I see. I mean, that could be interesting. Take the legs off of it, weld the wheels to it. If you look up, cars are actually take the whole arm with the casters and you just cut that off and weld the wheels directly to the basket.
Holy shit.
Isn't that just a fuck it. With hydraulics. All right, now we're talking. Holy Midnight Club. Exactly like that. I need more caffeine. How about we restart this live stream so that I can pretend like it's the first live stream that I did. It's three-rotor shopping cart. Well, that's basically what I'm building. I don't know if you've seen an RX-7, but that's basically what I'm building. Yeah. I'm gonna die. This car is gonna be fine for Drift Week because it's gonna be like sub 500 horsepower. But for this versus that, if it isn't exact, like if this versus that does not happen moments after Drift Week, and we have a chance to go finish the turbo setup and actually install party mode, this thing's gonna be like an 800 horsepower tin can. Like this shit's fucked. This is gonna be such a bad idea.
The tin can of your dreams.
The 800 horsepower death trap tin can of my dreams. So the RX-7 is taking years off my life. It's very expensive, but the timeline is still looking plausible.
Here for a good time, not a long time.
My bank account is here for a bad time, not a long time. Yeah, so this versus that is basically I have to build the car, show Hoonigan, and then they will approve. They will thumbs up or thumbs down on the car. I think they're gonna thumbs up on a 3-rotor fail side. I have a feeling, but the conversation's already been started, which is the hard part. So that's the thing. In terms of how it's going, there's a lot of shenanigans that have had to happen behind the scenes to get time back on track because between shipping delays, manufacturing delays, fabricator delays, other parts availability stuff, like we lost 2 months of progress instantly. Like we were immediately behind, and the car was originally supposed to start up at the end of July and start breaking in throughout August, and the car still doesn't have an engine in it. So right now, it seems like the engine will drop in at the end of this month, and we will begin breaking in and testing it throughout all of October, which puts us at a week before it has to drive to Texas for Drift Week. Now, the tricky part is what about the body kit that takes generally 6 weeks to install at minimum? Well, I have a solution for that, and it is every bit as absurd as any coy solution to anything wouldn't be, and I guess you'll just have to find out what I did later. But all you need to know is the car is still on track by a hair's width of being finished on time. Also, you ever thought of making it with the Rocket Bunny kit? I like the Rocket Bunny kit. It's just not what I was going for. Like, there's a lot behind this. The Veil side was not picked because I wanted to build a wide body RX-7, look through my options, and pick the Veil side. I picked the RX-7 because I wanted to build the Veil side. Like it was a very pointed thing. The first time I ever looked up the Veil side kit was when I was 10 probably, and I like found Veilside's website, like their Japan website, and did like the conversion between yen to dollars and found out that the body kit was like $16,000 at the time. And then I immediately tried to get my dad to buy an RX-7. Which honestly would have been a great investment if he would have listened to me. But that didn't happen. So now was it 14 years later? I'm giving it a shot. But yeah, no, I really like the Rocket Bunny kit. There's actually a video. It's unfortunate that the video is the car catching on fire, but there's a video of an all black LS turbo Rocket Bunny FT drifting, and the thing sounds amazing. It looks insane. And the guy was killing it too. Like he's a driver, but yeah, it's just it's like the AE86 we were talking about earlier. The Trueno and the AE86 is an influential and cherished car for a lot of people whose start into cars and drifting and whatnot was through the show Initial D. But for me, my start was Tokyo Drift, and Initial D is something that I only watched like a year ago. And I appreciate those cars, and I've heard great things about them. And every time I see a video of someone driving one for the first time, they freak out and they're like, "This is amazing." but it's not like my dream. So even if it's objectively better than a lot of the kits that I would, or a lot of the cars that I would go for, there are reasons that are sentimental and emotional for why I go with the cars that I do. I like the Panda Boss kit. Is it the RX-3 front end? The like muscle car looking front end? Veilside kit is literally carport. The Veilside kit is fucking expensive too. It is so expensive. Really annoyingly expensive. What do you use to find old Japanese cars for sale? I'm making an '06 STI or an '88 Super Turbo. '88 was Mark III, right? Pop-up headlights still? I would go for the '06 STI. Yeah. Especially if you have STI money and you don't have to settle for a WRX, get an STI, but just don't turn it into a drag racing car, please God. Just enjoy it at like 3 to 400 horsepower, tune it for minimal turbo lag, and have the time of your life for years. Yeah. If you live in Texas and all you care about straight line stuff, screw it, go with the Supra because it comes with a JZ. So yeah. I think I'm running out of stuff to say. I think that's pretty much it. Looking for a powerful street car. If you want power, just get the Mark III. Put rolling anti-lag or some crazy shit on it. I personally don't know why people don't like our or Mark IIIs as much. I think they look cool. They don't look any worse than an FC does. And people love FCs, but they're like, oh, the Mark III Supra is just so ugly. But I don't think that's the case. And if they come with a JZ, how bad can they really be? But what car would you recommend for first build for stance specifically? I got my things about stance cars. I really like to get the most out of cars, whether that's dollar for dollar on tire wear, whether it's grip for width on tires, suspension, ride, all that sort of stuff. So I'm not I'm a critic of stance cars in terms of whether or not you should go into one if you haven't already. But if you had to go for a stance car, you're gonna have to fix stuff a lot and replace wheels, and it's gonna be expensive. So the only thing I'd recommend is getting a car that isn't going to have other stuff break on its own too. So whether that's like a stock Subaru or a Honda of some sort, just something that like the only problem that you're gonna have to deal with are the mechanical problems that you're gonna run into from stancing the car. But just build a fast car, build a race car, build a rally car. Rally car, do a rally. Why does no one build rally cars? Why does everyone slam their shit and spark up on the highway when they could jump their cars?
Pothole land, aka Cali.
Oh, I'm in New York.
Brooklyn.
That doesn't stop anyone. Out here in Queens, people have like slams, beach static BRZs and stuff, and just ramp through all these potholes because like they'll patch up the potholes with like a small mountain of asphalt. So then you have like pothole and then a bowling ball in the street, and it's just yeah. Hey, your first car is your first car. You do what you can with it. And I was really spoiled and lucky with a WRX, but like, there are people that had way more questionable vehicles where I grew up that were their first cars, and they still did a hell of a lot with it. So do what you want, have fun. And also, your first car doesn't have to be some crazy anchor of sentimentality like mine is to me. One of my friends where I grew up had I think an early 2000s Legacy. He loved it, sold it as soon as he could, and got a newer WRX and like financed that. So everyone's got their own path. Mine was unfortunately being unable physically to sell anything, and so I just have no money and a bunch of broken cars now. International Scout. Oh my. Tiny has one of those. Yep, that tracks. I had to push it into a parking space, and to go 80 in that shit sounds awful and amazing at the same time. You never know the value of life until you're so close to death. Um, yeah. Well, on that happy pappy note, I think
End
it's
it on something super dark.
yeah, I think it's it's fun in the dirt. It's fun in the dirt. That's it. That's our positive note. And on that bombshell, it's time to end. Yeah. Go watch some videos if you missed some of the recent uploads. If you have seen everything, go check out some stuff on Instagram that I post because I don't post everything here on YouTube now that I've realized cars are sort of this is the home for cars and biking or whatever else I do goes on Instagram or TikTok. So go check out that stuff and I will see you when I see you.